What's up, pals? Alchemy here, and instead of doing the usual Serete talk or Pokemon video that I'm going to be doing bi-weekly, uh, I'm actually here with a Bleach video that isn't Serete talk. It's more so a discussion video about Can't Fear Your Own World. It's the third book in the installment trilogy, which makes me really happy. I can't wait to actually read it and bring you guys audiobook readings of it. But we're going to discuss a couple things about what is actually going on and what has actually been leaked. If we go to here, I am joined by my son. He's not actually my son, but it is Caleb the Birdo on YouTube. Actually, he doesn't have a YouTube. Caleb, introduce yourself.
Well, technically I do, but it's, you know how you have to like create a channel to comment on other people's videos?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
He doesn't upload anything, essentially.
not yet.
I don't know what he's going to upload, but
Nerd ramblings.
yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Like father, like son.
Like father, like son. But the reason I'm making this video is, as all of you know, I am the leader of a Bleach Amino, where a lot of roleplay and stuff goes on. And with this new information coming out on the light novels, it really brings into perspective, brings up ideas, brings up discussions and things like that as to what can happen with OCs and characters and how a roleplay would play out, or even the main series as a whole. Solely because this is very controversial, I guess you could say. So, starting it off right here. So apparently some Annons on Tucha. I don't know what that means.
I mean, Annons might just be like some anonymous people.
Oh, yeah. Some anonymous people on Tucha. I don't know what Tucha is. I imagine it's 4chan, but minus 2.
Also minus 2 letters.
Yeah. Managed to get a copy of Can't Fear Your Own World 3. I can't wait. I want that copy.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody watches this and they have it, send it to me, please. I'm begging you. And have been posting spoilers. Whether or not these are true is unknown. At the moment, take these with a grain of salt until proven otherwise. I figured I'd post them just for the hell of it, but again, take these with a grain of salt. So that's just the disclaimer that this person actually gave to us.
That doesn't mean we can't be hyped, though.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we can't be hyped. I mean, I've seen the pictures so far. They look like legit Kubo drawings, so
yeah.
I really wouldn't be surprised. I do have them, but they're not on a slideshow or in any of the images right now. And again, I do apologize. I am very sick at the moment, if you couldn't tell from my voice. Anyway, Hisagi's Bankai is mutual suffering and amplified damage. He shares the pain of those he harms, and the more he harms, the stronger he becomes. At peak strength, it's like being dragged under by death, where he might die at any second, and the next attack is insta-kill. Kuten Kyokoku, which is what I assume is his Bankai's name, I think. If I remember correctly, it is. But that's more spoilers for a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Its power is to drag its enemy into its inner world where... Oh, no, my bad. I'm sorry. That's the bad guys, Zanpakuto. And it happened earlier when I was reading through these spoilers. I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. I made the same mistake, essentially. But where Tokinda's Riryoku or or spirit energy is infinite and he is immortal, but his abilities remain the same. So
That's a mega oof.
excuse me. The first thing I'd like to point out with this first paragraph is Hisagi's Bankai. First off, mutual suffering, insta kill, things like that. How does that correlate to his Shikai? Yes, the look stays similar. I mean, he kind of gets a noose around his neck, I guess. Oh, and there goes the
Well,
monetization that I don't have.
Yeah, he does have the scythes. You can see that he still has it, but and there's like a from the noose. It's like wrapped around his neck, but it's got like the chain
Yeah,
coming from
it's
there.
it's like a sinner's chain almost, like Kokto from Hellverse.
Yeah,
It's the chain block thingy.
but I mentioned that more so because fuck, I forgot his name.
Who? Describe him.
His Shikai.
Kazeshini.
Kazeshina, yes.
Yeah.
Because it has chains on it.
Yeah.
One blade is connected to the other.
Mm-hmm. But how does that correlate to mutual suffering? Like, the only thing that we see, it is a dual-wielding Zanpakuto similar to Jushiro's, where it splits from one sword to two. But how does that correlate to mutual suffering and insta-kill? Like, I don't understand that part, especially considering, as Aizen stated, a battle between Shinigami is a battle of spirit energy, or Reishi, my bad, to which you have none. And that was stated when Soifone actually double tapped him on the chest with Suzume Bachi. Oh, excuse me. So if he's going up against someone like Zaraki, who has tanked multiple Kurohitsugis, Ito Kasos, as well as a full body merger or a full body fusion, whatever Azashiro's attack was, without hesitation or without like a single scratch even, how does that correlate to mutual suffering and insta-kill? And would it also insta-kill someone like Zaraki?
Here's a thought.
Yeah.
When first using Kazeshini, he describes it as it has the desire to kill. Okay. And implies that he really doesn't like it. Like, does not like it at all. In fact, borderline hates it. Probably. I don't know.
Because these scythes were meant for reaping.
Yeah.
That's what he says. But it doesn't give any type of effect.
I know. I'm just this is a little like a little bit of bait. I'm going somewhere with this.
All right, continue.
It's him having a distaste with that kind of personality kind of shows that he cares more. He doesn't want to kill. And while he, still raped Findor.
Absolutely. Butt fucked him.
He, not all Shinigami are like, stabby, stabby, murder, murder. However, that might correlate to him having a connection with another Reiryoku, but the true nature of his Bankai still is so deadly that it makes him more powerful when sharing with this other Reiatsu.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I'm sorry, this video is going to be pure ear rape for anybody that listens to it, and I thoroughly apologize. But,
also, if it's mutual suffering, I just thought of this. If it's mutual suffering and Zaraki doesn't take damage, like if you were to try and fight Zaraki and he didn't take damage, then Shuhei would therefore also not take damage.
That is true, because it does state that the more damage he deals, the stronger he gets. So if he's not dealing damage, he can't get any stronger.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
Good
And
point.
therefore,
Now the
neither
reason
would feel pain.
the reason I bring up the correlation aspect of Kazeshini and whatever Hisagi's Bankai is because on the wiki it states that no Soul Reapers, Shikai, and Bankai can have two completely different effects. And to that I say, bullshit, this proves it wrong right here.
Well, but Kazeshini never really showed any abilities. He never actually used any type of abilities when fighting Findor.
Watch.
He just threw it around. That's it.
I'll go on the wiki real quick. Just real quick.
Real quick.
Quick. Where is it? Oh my god. First off, Shuhei going into Shikai. It looks really nice. Kazeshini. When released, it takes on the form of... Wait, no, that's... Yeah, it doesn't even have, like, special abilities. But it's also not the first time he's used it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand if... Oh, it's the first time he used it. Maybe he didn't get a chance to show it off. But no, Shuhei's used his Shikai multiple times in the series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, that's like Izuru. Like, if we just get to see what his weird-looking sword could do, what would be the point? You know, like if he didn't explain his ability, and that's also one of Kubo's tropes, is explaining the ability. You know.
Yeah.
And going into the other dude, he apparently has a Zanpakuto that can give him immortality.
No, I don't think it's implying that.
Well, he's immortal in his inner world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think you can, while in an inner world, destroy it. Because it's kind of like an opposite or a reverse Muramasa.
Essentially, but Muramasa's inner world was crumbling. Well, it wasn't crumbling due to Ichigo. Yes, before anybody comments, yes, we know it's a filler arc. However, Kubo did, out of all of the filler arcs, Kubo worked closest on this one, providing tips here and there, as well as all of the character designs for it. So we're not saying it's canon.
Because you really have to take into account that nobody ever seen the other Zanpakuto and their personalities before. So we had to obviously work closely.
Mm-hmm. So we're not saying it's canon, but as of right now, this is kind of all we have to go off of.
It's a factor.
Yeah.
It's something to consider.
Though the inner world wasn't really destroyed while Ichigo wasn't destroying the inner world. But we can also take Ichigo's inner world into account. Because when Zangetsu says, "I hate the rain, I hope you know that, Ichigo." His inner world was nothing but skyscrapers. And then in the fake Karakura Town arc, it was brought to Karakura Town due to all of the rain and flooding and Ichigo's depression. So,
Well, the inner world reflects the soul, and the soul, I think it implies that his emotions manifest within his, and it, kind of rains on him. Very symbolic.
So how can he be defeated if his opponent is dragged into his inner world where he is immortal? See, it's like the Azashiro situation. Azashiro has full body, like alchemy, where he can fuse his body to literally anything, including the air, where he can become nigh immortal and be able to be cut. So
Yeah.
how did they defeat him? Oh, well, Zaraki's organs were just too hard. Not Zaraki had too much spirit energy, but his organs were too hard. That's literally what it was. Pretty dumb, if you ask me.
It's a Rocky though.
Yeah.
They got to give him that.
But onto the third paragraph. Kyurako, Urahara, and the Espada, and Mayuri
And Mayuri.
fight Aura. Now, Aura is, for anybody that's seen the leaks, Aura is the chick that I assume is the Nico Robin looking lady with some beautiful DSLs. Oh my god. Dick sucking lips.
Hey.
There you go. Just for anybody that didn't know what it was. If I could pull the picture up, I would, but I can't. So, oh well. This was kind of a last minute video. I do apologize. If I had something a little more script for it, I would bring it out, but this is complete free fall, I guess you could say.
Improv. It's a discussion. We
Mhm.
can't really script this.
True.
I mean, if we would.
Well,
it
I
would be
could script what I can
fake.
say. Yeah. I could script what I could say, but you,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Uh,
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
excuse me. While Shunsui uses his Shikai to engage Aurora, Urahara uses Kido, which is where we see Urahara use Haro 99, Goryo Tenmetsu. Ah, beautiful. Favorite Kido. Best Kido. 99.9 out of 10. The Espada are given unstable prototype Hogyokus made by Mayuri with Pernida's remains and Gerard's bones. Now, I was talking to Caleb about this earlier today. We were discussing this. That is...
Where it gets super meta.
Yeah, like that is crazy to just even assume that you could make a prototype Hogyoku. Now, especially out of the left arm of the Soul King and the heart of the Soul King. Now, it states specifically Pernida's remains and Gerard's bones. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like he took the DNA of Pernida, like the evolutionary, the constantly evolving state of Pernida. Since that wasn't the compulsory's abilities, but it was Pernida's abilities as a whole. And he took the bones of Gerard and kind of just made a case out of the bones and put the DNA within them. And then kind of just gave Grimjow, Hollybell, and Neliel, the prototypes and was like, here you go. Try this out. I don't know. I can't do a Mayuri impression while everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
It is very late at night while we're recording this. The Espada are given unstable prototype Hogyokus made... Yeah, I just read that. The prototypes give them a boost in power, but cracks appear on their bodies and they begin to deteriorate. Now, that's not saying the cracks...
That's the extremely meta part.
Yeah.
Because for anyone that does not play with pop culture games, screw you.
Yeah.
During the summer and the 3rd anniversary of Bleach Brave Souls game, Kubo supervised a new character design for Ulquiorra, which was dubbed the 3rd anniversary Ulquiorra.
Yes.
Higher than Resurrection. But he had cracks all over his bodies with a circle in his chest where his hollow hole was naturally. But there was something inside of it,
and that
which
was
people
a Hogyoku.
assumed to be a Hogyoku.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it is.
Now, a lot of
Confirmed
people
right here.
speculated, oh, this is a what-if situation of what if Ukiura fused with the Hogyoku? But
Yeah.
this actually brings it into light where if Ukiura survived, he could have been given a prototype of the Hogyoku made of Pernita's cells and Gerard's bones. And later on further on in this paragraph, it states Urahara takes them into his Bankai and remodels them to be able to handle the power, allowing them to momentarily gain a Hogyoku form. Now, this isn't beyond the form that we're talking about for Ukiura isn't the form beyond Segunda, but instead the form of the Hogyoku.
Yes.
Something similar to the Arrancar state that Aizen was brought into, which in my opinion, that's pretty fucking metal. That's that's oof, ooh woo.
And the reason I call it meta over anything else is because it's like a circle. It's a cycle. Like Kubo placed this here, then oh yeah, by the way, here's this now, making it literally canon, which I had speculated from the beginning. I said Kubo supervised it. Kubo made this idea. It's got to be canon. Like there was no way it couldn't be in my mind, of course. But fucking right here it is.
Now during the battles, the Hogyokus break, and after the form ends, or the Hogyokus break, and the form ends after their fight. Now this doesn't confirm or deconfirm or deny, that's the word, that Grimmjow has Segunda. He could still possibly have Segunda. You know.
Mega oof.
As well as Hollybell. You know, Hollybell is alive. She did kind of survive. Now that'd be meta as fuck. If she were to gain, like through the Hogyoku form, she were to gain a Segunda. Now that's also not to say that through gaining these forms, they could get the power boost to achieve Segunda, which is a form of their Zanpakuto. You know.
Because it's entirely separate.
Exactly. Now, that's also Segunda. A little unknown fact about Segunda is it's not a second, like it's not a Bankai for Arrancars. Actually, it's actually just an extension of their Resurrection, which is why when Ukiura goes into Segunda, he says Resurrection Segunda Etapa. It's simple. It's kind of like a second form of their Shikai, basically. You know, they're still evolving, but it's just like, think of Fuji Kujaku, and then Ruri Iru Kujaku. That's kind of like what it is. Yeah. And
that kind of works.
Yeah. But every Arrancar can achieve it. You know, all they gotta do is just get a Zenkai boost, I assume. You know, it's like if you get beaten up enough, you'll eventually go from Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
There's also something on that note about it, kind of a concrete fact that I have been considering, and have never really spoken about it before. When Ukiura says, or when he goes into Segunda Etapa, he doesn't, it's not named anything. Like, whereas a Bankai has a different name,
either an extension or something different altogether. Yeah.
But it doesn't have a different name. It's still the same power. It's just released another time.
And that's actually good storytelling on Kubo's part. How nice.
Yes.
Ginjo fights Hikone. I don't know who Hikone is. Hikone.
Well, they're likely a Vizard since they're talking about hollow forms.
That's right. You're right. Hikone.
Just possibly.
In Bankai, and the fight is even until Hikone holifies. So that could be the Visored mask, you know, or it could be...
Your boy Ichigo arrives.
Yeah. Anyway, Ichigo arrives in the final battle, Hikone is still transforming, becoming more hollow-like. Ichigo uses controlled hollification, as strong as Ichigo's hollow form, but weaker than fusion. Now this is it's the Horn of Salvation. That's the name of the thing. And demolishes him. Ichigo's controlled hollification is the same as the hollow form he used against Ukiura, but without the mask. So it states this. It's Horn of Salvation, but
With the body change.
I speculate that it's his Arrancar form, obviously, but it's got both horns coming out. So,
ooh, yes,
yeah.
that sounds good. Delicious.
And right after that, it states, as Hikone is about to transcend, Ichigo drives Ikomi Dome.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right. We really need these books to be translated. Like, Lord have mercy. I need to know what that is.
Yeah.
Through his chest, and it consumes Hikone. Ichigo says he doesn't want to deal with another Aizen.
Got him.
Now,
Kill it. Ooh.
It states right here, as Hikone is about to transcend. We've only seen 3 characters transcend in the entire series. That was Ichigo, when he went into Mugetsu the first time, and then later on in the final arc. Yuha, technically you can classify Yuha as always being on the transcendent level, since he is a part of the Soul King, but he was beat by Yama, like 1,000 years before the series. So, I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Got his cheeks clapped.
And
tends to happen.
Finally, Aizen. Sosuke motherfucking Aizen.
You almost nutted there. Sounded like it.
I did. This is the 4th character to transcend, or borderline transcend. So that means transcendency as a whole is completely possible, and apparently you don't just need a Hogyoku for it.
Yeah, he says he doesn't want another Aizen, so that could classify him because all 3 of those characters mentioned. Well, actually, I guess Ichigo's is closer to Aizen than a different way, but Yuha transcending was entirely different from how Aizen transcended.
Yeah,
he's making it sound more like how Aizen transcended by
hollifying or transcending the boundaries between Soul Reaper and Hollow.
2 different beings.
Yeah,
and then wait a minute. So you know how how normal souls and hollows are separated as different classifications of souls?
Yes.
And Aizen is saying or implying by removing that a person becomes more powerful. So does that mean that transcendency is literally just becoming the ultimate soul?
It might
by becoming the master of both types.
Maybe.
And transcending both of those types of souls and becoming a completely different one rather than just being both of them?
Speculations.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was just talking about that came to mind.
This is the beauty of unscripted. You know, a lot of my videos are scripted, but you know, this one's not. Oh well. Now, the final paragraph right here talks about Shinji. His Bankai. Going back to Shuhei's and the correlation between that, this kind of brings it up as well. And I guess you could argue that, it's reversal as a whole, but Shinji's Bankai reverses the flow of time. His Bankai changes. His Bankai change is minimal, only turning his Shikai sword golden. The flow of time on the body is reversed. Old injuries return and disappear. enhancements are lost, and knowledge gained is forgotten. It's very interesting to me. Mostly because how does that correlate to reversal of the senses? You know, where is instead of it's reverting them back to something, it's actually switching them, you know? Whereas this is
Yeah.
reverting back to something. It even goes into saying that for Tokonada,
Tokonada.
yeah, for Tokonada's white fodder hollows, that means literally shrinking and disappearing from existence. His Bankai has a range of 3 kilometers in diameter. Now, that's very interesting to talk about because you don't really, when you think about reversing a hollow, you think about turning it back into a plus or a regular soul. But this is very interesting because it doesn't do that. It erases them from existence.
Well, this is talking about a specific hollow. Were these hollows talked about before in Camp Fairy Own World?
No, not that I know of,
Okay.
at least.
So then, from this Tokonada person, they might have been created directly from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they call them fodder hollows, so clearly they can't be that good.
Either way, you'd think that that would just put it in the dirt deeper, considering
Yeah.
they are hollows, and if they're low-level hollows, that would just turn them back into pluses faster, making it easier to give them a konso. You know, no, I'm not saying that they would give them the konso, but I am, however, saying that this is something that is supposed to, like, logically happen, you know? And this
Yeah.
also brings up the fact that I was on Bleach Hub's Discord server when these were posted, and we talked about it for a little bit. Going back to when I stated what Aizen said, a battle of Shinigamis is a battle of Reishi to which you have none. Meaning, if you have higher Reishi than someone, you can just neg their powers altogether. You know, this isn't just from a debating standpoint. This is from a standpoint altogether, which we have seen this in multiple other series. Dragon Ball Z, I think One Piece maybe, definitely Naruto. But my thing is, this could be like a Seven Deadly effect. And that's something that's come to my mind very recently, where I've just finished watching the third season of Seven Deadly Sins, where it doesn't matter about someone's power level. If you have a magical ability, it's going to affect them regardless, unless their physical strength is just so ungodly overwhelming, as is the case of Escanor, the lion son of pride. Who's that? I'm sorry, but he's so cool. I'm a gush for him a little bit. He's my favorite character. He took Alex Luis's spot as my number one favorite character, and Alex Louis Armstrong is my favorite character out of any anime I've ever watched. Like, oh my god, sugoi ne desu, ore wa.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it could it could be that no matter what, this is going to affect it, because this isn't just some like crazy ability where if you double tap someone they die instantly.
Yeah.
It literally evaporate. This is reversing the flow of time as a whole. So my biggest question is, why didn't Shinji do that when Yamamoto died?
Ooh.
That just popped up to me.
Yeah.
Because if his Bankai, obviously you could argue just the point of plot-induced stupidity, which, I mean, hey.
That also, and if he did use his Bankai, then the Quincy would be able to steal it.
Would they, though? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to steal it because of his holification powers. Remember?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. That's, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. It's still really weird.
Hmm.
Personally, I want the books
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad. I want them to be translated. For those who want to read We Do Not Always Love You and the first 2 volumes of Can't Fear Your Own World, there is a beautiful woman on Tumblr named Miss Stormcaller. Please go check her out. She has all of that translated, and it is a beaut. Now, with that being said, I think I'll end the video here. It's getting really late. I want to play
Yeah.
Minecraft, and
I actually want to bring up one more point.
Yeah.
It was on the topic of when you were talking about Shinji's Bankai.
Mhm.
Perhaps it rather than affecting the opponent, it affects the third party of reality. And or I'm trying to figure out how to formulate the sentence, but because reality is, the overwhelming presence that exists, you can't exactly do anything against that.
Yeah.
So if something is affected, something is changed within reality, then everything within it is affected by it, and therefore it is affected by it.
Interesting. Let us know
Especially
what
when
you
we're
think.
talking about time.
Yeah, because like that, we've seen in filler arcs technically space-time warping. What's his name?
Kagerosa?
Yeah, Kagerosa has the ability to manipulate space and time in a way.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that JoJo ability where if there's a space in between something.
Oh, the hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just basically erases the space between him and something
it's
else.
kind of like that's kind of Kagerosa's ability. Then, like his secondary effect is he can open up a space to what I assume is the precipice, the Dangai precipice world.
Yeah.
And then reopen it at a certain state. Now we know that if you do this with a Garganta, you can't exactly predict where that energy is going to go due to
because unlike the precipice world, the Garganta's literally nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like his Zanpakuto goes into the Garganta world, the world the space outside of the Dangai precipice. But his Zanpakuto can manipulate where it goes in that Dangai precipice. So as long as the energy is flowing outward, he can bring it back. And that's what's really interesting to me about his ability.
He was able to suck up Yama's
right?
His flames.
How much energy do you have to have for that? That's incredible.
So taking at that factor, if it was just using reality and it would negate energy in its entirety. He would just have to use the Reiatsu to open the portal.
Exactly.
And then let everything else play.
But let us know what you think in the comments below, pals. I'm going to go play Minecraft. I hope you all have sweet dreams. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.